Okay, I'm just going to make this review as quick and to the point as I can possibly get it, because I am exhausted. My feed kept messing up, and it's just ridiculous. But other than that, there's only one insignificant match on this entire card, and I think you guys know what it is: Jason Jordan versus Elias Sampson, or Elias. Do you want to walk with Elias? And I'm not gonna lie, I like Elias. I think he's very skillful with a guitar. I'm still waiting on the album. But the thing is that he's a raw guy. I'm sorry, he's a raw guy. I don't know why everyone keeps thinking he should be put in, championship status so quickly, and every pay per view he should be on it. I don't get it, but that's just me. But other than that, him going up against Jason Jordan made zero sense at all. Um, the fact that he had his performance interrupted 3 times, that's something that you would see on Raw. Plus, it was just stupid. It was. I'm sorry. You had salad thrown at you by Jason Jordan. I mean, I'm going to say this. When it comes to Minneapolis and that being the hometown of Prince, rest in peace. I mean, the fact that it was actually the late great Prince's hometown, you don't bust out with one of his lines from Let's Go Crazy. I'm sorry. You just don't do that. Because Minneapolis, they're sensitive to that. I mean, that's their hometown hero. You just don't do that. That's just my humble opinion. But I'm thinking but Elias Sampson, of course, that generates heat. That's cheap heel heat. You gotta do it that way. But the match itself, the finish was dumb. It was 100% dumb. You had your shoulders on the mat, didn't have your shoulders on the mat. You had Booker T mad throwing his glasses up on the stage. It was just stupid. It really was. It just should have not happened at all. This is something you see on Raw. I mean, come on. But anyway, they made, and I'm just going to go ahead and get this out the way. They made so much hype about Kurt Angle being in the main event. Like, in 11 years, we haven't seen Kurt Angle perform in so long. And I mean, so freaking what? Here's my question. This guy had a broken freaking neck. He had a broken neck. You're going to put him in a TLC match with a broken neck? Didn't make any sense. And I'm like, wouldn't it be a lot better to have Daniel Bryan to take the place of Roman Reigns than Kurt Angle? I'm just saying, Kurt Angle was incredibly stiff. And I'm not talking about his stiff hits. I'm talking about his stiff body. The guy looked like he could barely walk down the ring. And sure, he did the angle slam, but it looked like it was uncomfortable for him to do so. It made no sense for him to pick him. It made no sense for them to get Kurt Angle. Nothing at all to me. And it was completely overhyped because, yes, that match was chaotic, but it made zero sense throughout. It didn't make any sense to have Kane. It didn't make any sense to have The Miz in it because The Miz should be defending his title. It made plenty of sense to have The Bar, and it made sense to have Braun Strowman go up against the rest of the Shield. I don't know why they added 5 people. I don't know why. Then you get rid of Braun Strowman, one of your strongest dudes on your team. People are like, oh, what about Kane? The strongest dude on the team is Strowman. You're going to throw him in a dumpster and haul him off? For what reason? What did he do to betray you? Seriously. Seriously. I don't know. That match made no sense. It made no sense to have Kane in it. It made no sense to have The Miz in it. It made no sense to get rid of Strowman. That match was slow as molasses. I was praying for it to be over quickly. And I was happy that it did. I don't care if the faces won or lost. That match made no sense. And it took a long time to get to that point. And the one thing that pissed me off the most is you have the emergency crew. You have the medical crew come out there and to check on Kurt and to haul him off for the very end. He always comes out with his music blaring. That happens all the time. Can we please stop with the medical crew coming out? That takes people out of the match. It takes too much attention away from the performers and it puts it on them. Can we stop doing that, please? Just saying. And can we also stop the post-match interviews inside the ring? Can we stop that too? Please. It's annoying as hell to see that all the time. It's not adding anything to it or taking anything away. It's a waste of space. Handle that backstage. Just saying. Do you need to add insult to injury for Mickie James losing against Alexa Bliss when she should have won and have, Carly Caruso? I don't know who she is. having her in the ring and just pretty much saying, so how does it feel to lose? Duh! How do you think it feels? Then you have Enzo's match. I mean, can we please stop? It's annoying as hell. Can we stop it, please? Oh my gosh. But anyway, enough of that rant. I'm going to say there's only 2 good matches on the card, and it was not the main event. The main event was not bad, but it was overhyped for a short period of time. And since that Kurt Angle had a lot of ring rust, and it showed, the guy can handle his own. I am not in any way, shape, or form taking that away from him. He's still, I'm not going to say he still got it, because he really don't, but I will say that the man can still go. That's saying the same thing. Okay, sure, I can say he still got it. But yeah, he was extraordinarily rusty. But for that, him being that rusty and can still perform, I'll give credit where credit is due. But the 2 matches that I will definitely say is one of the best matches on the card, definitely was the women's match with Alexa Bliss versus Mickie James. That was a really good match. Mickie James made Alexa look good because Alexa, in my humble opinion, wrestling-wise, is the female version of Randy Orton. She is. I'm sorry. She's only as good as her opponent. And she actually was able to keep up with Mickie James. The butt slap heard around the world. Everybody went nuts for the butt slap. I mean, yeah, okay, we know she has one. It's right there. It's in our faces all the time. We know it. She slapped it. There you go. Whoop-de-freaking-do! I know you guys have seen women get their ass slapped every once in a while. It's nothing new, okay? Yeah, it was probably a shocker for this era, but it's not a big deal. But it really made the crowd go nuts. But other than that, that was probably the highlight of that whole match. But I really don't agree with who won. I mean, you had Alexa Bliss pretty much humiliate Mickie James on a daily basis. Every single Raw, she got humiliated, talking about how old she is. She had freaking Depends, a whole room full of Depends and stuff that for people who are incontinent. I mean, she practically was insulted right and left. So how come she didn't get her comeuppance here? How come she didn't take the belt off of her? Because let's be real, Alexa Bliss is going to lose that belt to Asuka. Can you imagine her going up against Asuka and having a good match? No, I don't. I really don't. Because I know that little pixie cannot hold up against Asuka. Asuka will hurt her in the worst way. The one person I know in that match that can go up against Asuka that already has is Mickie James. And going up against her as champ would be even more money, in my opinion. Seriously. Because Mickie James was a vet in that match. She ran circles around Alexa Bliss. She should have been the champ, not Alexa. She shouldn't have kept the belt. It should have been Mickie James. And I think they made a huge mistake keeping it on her. That's my opinion. And speaking of Asuka versus Emma, the biggest match with the most hype was like completely flat. It was average at best because of who they chose to go up against Asuka. You chose Emma. The chick that got her ass handed to her multiple times by Asuka. She literally got her lights put out at a live event. Knocked unconscious. What makes you think that this chick was really good to go up against Asuka? I'm not taking anything away from Emma. Emma is an amazing wrestler. I have seen her feud with Paige. She's had an amazing feud with Paige, and they both can go at it in the ring. But she cannot handle Asuka. She never could. She lost against Asuka multiple times on NXT, and she got her lights put out on a live event. What makes you think that this chick is good to go up against her? That match was average for Asuka. Maybe not for Emma, but for Asuka it was. That was the worst person to go up against. Seriously. But other than that, I'm not going to say that it was a horrible match because it wasn't, but it just should have been higher than that. There was so much hype for Asuka's debut, and it just seemed average. That's just me. That's how I feel about it. That match should have been match of the night because it was her debut on Raw. It should have been amazing. It should have been stellar, but it was not. But other than that, that's just what it was. It wasn't horrible, but for a debut, it was average. And that should not have happened. But the biggest match of the night was the match with the least amount of hype. AJ Styles versus Finn Balor. 2 ex-Bullet Club leaders going up against each other. The Too Sweet made the fans go crazy. And it was pretty much a big FU to the Young Bucks for the WWE. But people say that, oh, that was scripted. I mean, that wasn't scripted. That was something that was improvised. No, it wasn't. That was scripted as hell, man. And they did that to literally just rub it in the face of the Young Bucks that, hey, we own what you used to do. That's just what it was. I'm just being real right there. It was a nice moment to see them do that, especially them being ex-Bullet Club leaders. It was great to see that. But it was scripted, people. But other than that, the match itself was absolutely phenomenal. No pun intended. They were going at each other. Seriously. Finn Balor was giving it his all. And you had AJ Styles, who wasn't prepared for any of this, making the best of what he got. And boy, did he. That match was amazing. How it was great to see those guys in the ring for the first time in WWE. Amazing match. I will not take that away from them. That was an amazing match to watch. It was. But man, my overall view for this pay-per-view alone, I'm gonna say that this pay-per-view alone was not horrible. I'm not gonna say it was the worst. I'm not gonna say it was the best I've ever seen. I'm gonna pretty much say it's pretty much in the middle. It's like this, pretty much. I'm just gonna say it's like that. But it's not horrible. It's just kind of average. Some people say it's like an average episode of Raw. I'm not going to necessarily say it's an average episode of Raw, even though there was some kind of Raw-ish kind of moments in there. But I will say it was a pretty decent pay-per-view. The fact that it only had one Hell in a Cell match, I mean not Hell in a Cell, but one TLC match, was kind of disappointing because it's TLC. And we only had one TLC match. We didn't have a ladder match. We didn't have a tables match. We didn't have matches like sporadic. It was just one gimmick match. That's it. And it was all hyped up for Kurt Angle. And this match, let's be real, that match was only to make Kurt Angle look good. That's it. It didn't really capitalize anyone else. It didn't do anything for the Shield, or it didn't do anything for Ambrose and Rollins, and it didn't do anything for everybody else. It made Kurt look good, and it made Kane look like a monster. It benefited the veterans more so than the future, which is a problem. I don't know why Kane was in it. He shouldn't have been. And I don't know why they chose Angle. But I've already gotten too much into that. But my overall view is that this was just an above average pay-per-view. That's pretty much how I see it. But other than that, guys, I want to hear your thoughts. Leave in the comments below. Let me know how you feel. And I will see you later. Peace out.